EVs Downfall. What's the reasons? The electric vehicle (EV) industry, once heralded as the future of transportation and a key solution to the global climate crisis, has faced a number of challenges that have slowed its momentum. Despite significant advancements in technology and growing consumer awareness of environmental issues, several factors have contributed to the current difficulties in the widespread adoption and success of EVs. These challenges span economic, technological, and geopolitical domains, each playing a crucial role in the industry's recent downturn. One of the primary challenges facing the EV industry is the high cost of electric vehicles. Although prices have gradually decreased over the past decade, they remain significantly higher than their internal combustion engine ICE counterparts. The average price of a new EV in the United States hovers around $55,000, making them inaccessible to many consumers. This cost disparity is largely driven by the expense of EV batteries, which can account for up to 40% of the total production cost of an electric vehicle. While technological advancements have led to some reductions in battery costs, they are still expensive, particularly in comparison to the relatively stable costs of traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. This price gap has deterred many potential buyers, especially in a market where affordability is a key concern. The economic challenges facing the EV industry are compounded by the current macroeconomic environment. Inflation, rising interest rates, and economic uncertainty have made consumers more cautious about making large purchases, including cars. When faced with financial pressures, many consumers opt for cheaper, more familiar options, which often means choosing a gasoline-powered vehicle over an electric one. Additionally, the decline in government subsidies and incentives for EV purchases in some regions has further strained the affordability of electric vehicles. While early adopters were able to take advantage of generous tax credits and rebates, these incentives have diminished or disappeared in several markets, making EVs less attractive to cost-conscious buyers. Another significant hurdle for the EV industry is the limited availability and accessibility of charging infrastructure. Although the number of charging stations has increased substantially, it still pales in comparison to the vast network of gas stations available for ICE vehicles. This disparity creates what is known as range anxiety, a fear that an EV will run out of power before reaching a charging station. For many potential EV buyers, especially those living in rural or suburban areas where charging infrastructure is sparse, this concern is a significant deterrent. Even in urban areas where charging stations are more common, the time it takes to recharge an EV compared to refueling a gasoline vehicle can be a frustrating inconvenience. Fast charging technology has mitigated this issue to some extent, but it is still not widespread enough to fully alleviate consumers' concerns. The range of electric vehicles, while improving, is still a limiting factor for many consumers. Although some high-end EVs now offer ranges comparable to traditional cars, most affordable models still fall short. The anxiety of potentially running out of power during long trips or in remote areas continues to be a major psychological barrier to adoption. Furthermore, the performance of EV batteries can be affected by extreme temperatures, which can reduce range and reliability. In colder climates, for instance, the range of an EV can decrease significantly, further exacerbating range anxiety and limiting the practicality of these vehicles for a wide range of consumers. The EV industry is also grappling with the complexities of the global supply chain, particularly in securing the raw materials needed for battery production. Lithium, cobalt, nickel, and other critical minerals are essential for manufacturing EV batteries, but they are in limited supply and are often sourced from regions with significant geopolitical risks. The demand for these materials has surged alongside the growth of the EV industry, leading to increased prices and potential shortages. Additionally, the extraction and processing of these materials have raised environmental and ethical concerns, particularly regarding the impact on local communities and ecosystems. These supply chain challenges not only drive up costs, but also pose significant risks to the scalability of EV production. Geopolitical tensions have further complicated the landscape for electric vehicles. The trade war between the United States and China, the world's largest producer of EV batteries, has created uncertainties for automakers reliant on Chinese technology and materials. Restrictions on Chinese imports and the imposition of tariffs have disrupted supply chains and increased production costs for EV manufacturers. Additionally, concerns over the dependence on China for critical components have led to calls for the diversification of supply chains and the development of domestic alternatives. However, building a robust and competitive battery manufacturing industry outside of China is a complex and time-consuming process, requiring significant investment and technological innovation. Consumer skepticism and resistance to change also play a role in the challenges facing the EV industry. Many drivers are accustomed to the convenience and familiarity of gasoline-powered vehicles, and the prospect of switching to an EV can be daunting. Misconceptions about the performance, reliability, and environmental impact of EVs persist, despite efforts by automakers and environmental advocates to educate the public. Additionally, some consumers are wary of the long-term durability and resale value of electric vehicles, given that the technology is still relatively new and rapidly evolving. These concerns can make consumers hesitant to invest in an EV, particularly when cheaper, proven alternatives are readily available. Furthermore, the environmental benefits of electric vehicles, while significant, are not without their complications. The production of EVs, particularly the extraction and processing of materials for batteries, can have a substantial environmental footprint. Critics argue that the emissions generated during the manufacturing process can offset some of the benefits gained from the zero-emission operation of EVs. Additionally, the disposal of used batteries poses a growing environmental challenge, as the industry has yet to develop a fully sustainable solution for recycling or repurposing these components. These environmental concerns have led some to question whether EVs are truly the best solution for reducing global carbon emissions, especially when compared to other emerging technologies such as hydrogen fuel cells or synthetic fuels. The rapid pace of technological advancement in the EV industry has also created challenges for automakers. While innovation is essential for improving the performance and appeal of electric vehicles, it also means that today's models can quickly become outdated. Consumers may be reluctant to invest in a new EV if they believe that a significantly better model will be available in just a few years. This phenomenon, known as technology leapfrogging, can slow the adoption of current EV models and create uncertainty for both manufacturers and buyers. Automakers must balance the need to introduce new features and technologies with the risk of alienating consumers who fear their purchase will soon be obsolete. Finally, the EV industry's growth is constrained by the broader energy transition challenges facing society. While electric vehicles produce zero emissions at the tailpipe, the overall environmental impact depends heavily on the source of the electricity used to charge them. In regions where the electricity grid is still heavily reliant on fossil fuels, the carbon savings from switching to an EV can be diminished. The transition to renewable energy sources is critical to maximizing the environmental benefits of electric vehicles, but this transition is uneven and progressing at different rates around the world. In areas where coal or natural gas still dominate the energy mix, the adoption of EVs may not lead to the substantial emissions reductions that are needed to combat climate change. In conclusion, the electric vehicle industry is at a critical juncture. While significant progress has been made in technology, infrastructure, and public awareness, the challenges it faces are formidable. High costs, limited charging infrastructure, supply chain issues, geopolitical tensions, and consumer skepticism all contribute to the current difficulties in the EV market. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.